Hello folks, Everchanger here, and welcome back to more Ōkami. Last time we made our way ever further into Oni Island, and we also obtained the power of Thunderbolt, which unfortunately I cannot demonstrate because once again there is no energy source in this room for me to use. But anyway, this time we are going to be completing our conquest of Oni Island, and I should warn you guys that this episode might be a little bit long, mainly for the fact that we are going to be doing the same amount of dungeon that we did in the last episode, but there's also going to be a boss fight. Anyway, right here we have a thunder key that we can grab so we can direct this lightning over to this treasure chest. Once again, all of this stuff is going to be optional, and right here we have the Oni Island map, which means that's basically a signal that we are almost done with this dungeon, because for whatever reason, giving maps out at the end of dungeons is kind of this game's thing. Anyway, let's head right on up here, I believe. Now, this room is actually quite large and a little confusing. As you can see, there are a lot of these electricity platforms around here, as well as a couple of these blocking spiders, which is a little surprising. Haven't seen these guys in a while, and the last time we saw them, we were Isun-sized, and that's a drop-off. Anyway, slash that just to get some free stuff. And wow, we actually accidentally directed the thunder. Anyway, down here, it's a good thing I fell, actually, because it looks like there is a fight with a Headless Guardian and an Executioner Guardian that we're going to want to deal with as soon as possible. And I'm pretty sure I have the Fire Tablet, so why on earth did that do damage? I have no idea. Anyway, I'm going to try and get a couple more Demon Fangs for our trouble. Nail that guy. Deal out a ton of damage. I'd really like to get the floral finisher on this guy because he gives out like somewhere like 3 or 5 demon fangs. It's kind of insane. Go off, go off, go off, go off, please. Yes, I got it. Nice. Alrighty. And of course we have ball pushing physics if we so are inclined. And yeah, I got hit once. What of it, game? What of it? Alright, this room, I do have to admit, is a little confusing. In fact, I'm not entirely sure where we were at the start of this. I think we were up here. Yes, it looks like this is where we were. Oh wow, it even goes further this way. This room is kind of insane. Alright, we're gonna vine over this way, and ooh, that could be interesting. Okay, that is the way we want to go, because there is a lockjaw over there. Which means we need to find where this thunder key is supposed to go, because lockjaws don't take thunder keys, they take regular keys. So I think what we want to do is we want to head over this way and not fall this time. I think that's probably a good plan right here. Alrighty. And now that we're over here, is there any treasure? There is not. And again, the game has to tell us, hey, idiot, you're trying to get up here where the path leads. I mean, there's really only one way we can go, game, so I don't know why you have to tell us all that. Alright, let's head right on up here. Alright, good, we made it. And right here we have a blocking spider, which means Veil of Mist is where it's at. I really, really love how you use all of these powers going through dungeons even long after you've gotten them. And right here, you'll notice there's something down there, but the floor is solid. What do? You drop the key, and you fall all the way down. And somehow the key went bouncing all the way down here, which is interesting, so we'll grab that real quick. And inside this chest is a pearl, which is actually not required in any way, shape, or form whatsoever, so I'm not sure why they had us use it. Now, there's actually a bombable wall over here, which is interesting. Let's kaboom that open, and inside, I'd really like a place to use this thunder key, because I don't want to drop it. Oh wow, it actually loops right here. Alright, I guess we do have to drop the thunder key. Alright, so let's hop over here, grab the regular key, which I believe is actually called an exorcising arrow or something like that, but I mean, it's a key, let's be honest here. See, you stick it in the lock and you turn it, and kaboom. Alrighty, I'm gonna run back and grab that thunder key really quick, just because Where's the... Oh, don't tell me I lost it and I have to go back and get it. Ay, ay, ay. Alright, so at least the game was kind enough to produce a shortcut back, because we have that right there. I guess that's the intended way to do it, actually, which is a little annoying. If you leave keys for too long, they do have a tendency to despawn, but luckily we can come right back here to where the key originally spawned and get it again. So it's not too terribly big of an issue, but it is a little bit annoying because the time for keys despawning is pretty unforgiving in this game. Let's head right over here. Now hopefully we actually need this thing and I didn't just waste a bunch of time. Sir? So, you have made it this far, have you? I must tell you, good sir, the time for fun and games is over, for it is my sworn duty to stand guard here. But during our competition, oh, how shall I put it? I became rather fond of you, good sir. The sight of you risking your life in a gallant charge, that is something I simply must see again. Haha. Have I failed as a gatekeeper for feeling so? So, you see, good sir, I wish to live a life of competition. To come this far only to give up? No, that is not me. I care not if I am a failure as a gatekeeper. Let us make this a race for the ages. Alright, so indeed we have yet another race right here. You're going to want to use Veil of Mist just because that guy is going to drop down pretty much immediately and start to make your life very, very difficult. Come on. Come on, Ami, you can make it. You can make it. You can make it. Over the spikes. Up all the way to the gate. Nice. Very good. And of course we have a golden gate right here, which I guess isn't too terribly pointless because that race can be a little bit challenging, but honestly I've never really felt in danger of dying in this game. Oh boy, these guys, my favorite. I hate these enemies so much. Like, man oh man, you have no idea. Alright, can we deal a little damage to you while you are looking in the other direction? Ow. Alrighty, I'm pretty sure these guys have floral finishers of electricity, so you're going to want to keep this Thunder Key around in order to use it to take these guys out. Alright, dealing them a bit of damage. These guys take a big beating, and there's an enemy later in the game that looks quite similar to these that I really, really hate fighting, even more than these things. And for some reason he's charging the wrong way, but of course I miss like half of my shots with my rosary, which is a little annoying. Alright, can we get this fight moving a little bit quicker here? Can you lose your color? Alright, looks like we got a level of Godhood and then immediately lost it because we are absolutely amazing at this game. Alright. Come on, dude. Yes, alright. I want you to go all the way over there and turn around. No. Ooh, boy, they charge around quite a bit. These enemies are probably the first enemies in the game that I feel like are truly legitimately challenging to battle against just because of how much damage they take and the fact that you can only hit them from behind. And can I get the floral finisher on you? Yeah, there we go, and I think that dropped 5. Holy cow. The nice thing about enemies that are this difficult is they usually drop a lot of Demon Fangs if you manage to nail the floral finisher, so I definitely recommend doing that as much as you can. And wow, I've hardly even hit this guy. Come on. Can you charge or something? Alright, nail him a little bit more, and man oh man, these guys took longer to fight than I thought. And the worst part is, we are not going to be done fighting these guys. In fact, there's a part later on in the game where we're going to have to fight quite a few of them, which I'm really, really, really not looking forward to. Alright, can you charge? The charging's always a good opportunity, although that one's a pretty good opportunity as well, unless I miss every shot again. Ay, ay, ay. This might take longer than the boss fight of this area if this keeps up. Alright, there we go. We got the charge. And we nailed him like one time. Okay, guy, I really would like to just defeat you at some point, if at all possible. Can you just... Yeah, alright, there we go. Alright, he is gray now. That is a definitely good opening. Come on. Oh, he's got like a sliver of health left. Come on. There we go. And Thunder Key, and that is also his floral finisher, which means we got like 10 Demon Fangs in this fight. And yeah, I know I did badly on time, but let's be honest, how on earth are you supposed to do good on time? I don't know, maybe they're weak to the sub-glaive. Anyway, there is a thunder cloud in this room for some strange reason. I'm really not sure why. And right over here... Oh, of course. Right over here leads into this room, I have to say, these later parts of Oni Island can get quite confusing in terms of their layout. There's just a lot of really weird snaky aroundy stuff, but as you can see, looks like we also have a use of catwalk in here, which is really, really cool. I really like how they've been dotting catwalk everywhere, although you really wouldn't think they would use it all that much. They actually do quite a bit. Alright, so let's hop right on up here, and we have another one of these blocking spiders and a treasure chest up there. And we are over, no problem. Very good. I think you can use catwalk on the wall, but honestly, catwalking horizontally instead of vertically is quite difficult, actually, in my opinion. Right here we have a pearl, which is very good. Now, is it safe to drop here? Looks like it is. Let's head right on down. And we got another one of these guys. How do we get you to move? There we go. Alright. Do that, head right on through to this way, and we have another required fight. Wowee, they're really throwing these guys at us. Alright, I'd really like to get all of these skulls in a row. Alright, I think a couple slashes right there. Yeah. Huge opening right there. When you get an Executioner Guardian, you get rid of all of his skulls, he's going to have a rough time. And I think this guy will drop another 3 to 5 Demon Fangs once we kaboom him like that, which is awesome. Man, I love being able to get all of these Demon Fangs later on in the game, because there's an item that we're going to be buying in a couple of episodes that requires quite a few of these guys, so it's good to get your stash back up. And I would like to buy all of the items you can get with them before the end of the game, so accumulating all these guys now is probably really good for us. Alright, lots of money for us. And there we go, and of course I got hit like one time, so damage rank isn't all that great. Now, I think this room, there's actually a bombable wall up there. Oh wait, no, Toby's up there. So I guess we want to head over this way. And if this is what I think it is, oh boy, it is. You remember this guy from all the way back in the Tsuta ruins? The Blockhead? Yep, he is indeed here. Gaha! I am Blockhead. I guard this place so that all shall pass. Wait. Make that none shall pass. Oh, you again. You really want me to keep picking at your weak points? What are you talking about? Ahem. Now, where was I? Oh, yes. You are that terrible assassin who has been slaying my brethren, although we've only seen one of you before, although there is one in Kusa Village that I admittedly forgot to show because it is optional. I will be showing that later. The White Demon of Death. Heh, looks like you got a new nickname, Furball. I foresaw your coming. I am the shadowy ruler of Oni Island. Be warned, I am far different from my brethren. Though you may be the White Demon of Death, you cannot slay me. Now be on your way. You shall not pass. Well, alright then, let's tackle you anyway. Well, jump up here and then tackle you. And let's see, this guy has, I believe, 5 weak points. Alright, so there was one there, there, and there, correct? Oh no, I screwed it up. Gaha, is that the true power of the White Demon of Death? How very disappointing. Well, I guess you get to see what happens if you fail this. He causes some rocks to fall down, which can do damage to you, but they're pretty easy to avoid. Anyway, let's try that again. I believe this changes every time. There. Oh, come on, that was close enough, right? But yes, as you can see, this blockhead is actually pretty difficult, so we'll give it one more shot, and then if not, I will just jump cut to when I succeed. Hey, Ami, aren't you forgetting something? Did you see those glowing spots? But yes, I know, Isun. You're supposed to aim for those. Remember, Isun, I'm not stupid. It's just hard, okay? And the worst part is, this is not the hardest blockhead in the game. There. Yes! Oh my! So that's the true power of the White Demon of Death. You so easily struck at my weak points. And after I trained so hard to cover them up too, I, Blockhead, submit to defeat. Still, I am the shadowy ruler of Oni Island. Do not dishonor me, at least in my hour of death. I shall succumb to oblivion with honor. And off he goes. Now, I've heard apparently it's possible to skip that blockhead entirely, but I'll be honest, I don't know how to do it, and I don't know if it's even possible. It's just something I read online once. Anyhow, I'm realizing I'm still carrying this Thunder Key, but I've never found anywhere to use it for some reason. I am indeed no match for you, good sir. Your eyes, ever focused on tomorrow, have led you to the climax. Is that a Bayonetta reference? I mean, I know Bayonetta came out after this game, but you know what, whatever. Of course, I do not mean our petty little races. O mighty warrior who seeks the castle's summit on Oni Island. The true climax of your adventure is close at hand. Toby never felt such competitive fire until you, good sir. Though I cannot join you, I shall send you off with a final dash. Scrap? All right, good sir. Now, for the race to end them all. Make it one that I shall never forget. What you'll want to do right here is before you even start the race, you want to explode that wall all the way across the way right there. Can I get it? No, not quite. I'd really, really like to get that wall to explode because that is actually where the exit is. And there we have done. Right there, as you can see, there is a Konohana Blossom. So what you want to do is you want to initiate Toby, and then pretty much immediately vine your way over there, and that will give you pretty much instant victory. Truly amazing, good sir. I am so glad we could part like this. I hope my final dash pleased you, good sir. Heh, you're not half bad for a scrap of paper. And even though you're an enemy, I guess I should commend you. I feel so very fortunate to have such a great man as yourself witness my final moment. Hey, Scrap. Why you talking like you're about to vanish at any second? I have violated the precepts and shall thusly be erased. So it is I who must bid you farewell. I shall now accept my fate for abandoning my duty as a gatekeeper. You mean? Oh, don't be sorry for me, good sir. This was the life of my own choosing. I treasured it, and no one can ever take that away from me. Though I may have been born a mere servant of spirits, I should at least be allowed to do what I please at my passing. For otherwise, my life would have been in vain. I fear I shall not be able to guide you the rest of the way. I wish I had a bouquet of flowers to present to you at this farewell. But, alas, I must part with you empty-handed. Please, forgive me. Farewell, good sir, and good luck. Sounds like we got that bouquet after all. Toby. It was more than a petty little race. Perhaps I wouldn't even have gotten this far without you. With that true spirit of competition you showed me, I can now face the biggest challenge of my life so far. Isun's talking all in the singular right there, but I think we're also with him on this adventure. But anyway, with that, here we are at the summit of Oni Island. And of course that Thunder Key just sort of disappeared. Yeah, I'm not sure what's up with that. And what is the point of this Golden Gate? There is literally a save mirror. Like, watch. We can get that Golden Gate and the save mirror in the same screen. Like, it unloads when it's over there, but it's there. Like, seriously, what is up with the point of this Golden Gate? There's no reason it should be here. In fact, I'm going to walk around it just because I am so spited by the fact that the game thinks that we're that stupid. Anyway, right up here is indeed the climax of our adventure. Not in the world of Nippon, but in the world of Oni Island, the land of demons. You feel that weird vibe this place is giving off, Ami? It may be quiet now, but I've got a major case of the creeps. I know she's watching us from the shadows. She's ready to strike at any moment. You ready, Ami? Are you ready? Yes. Excellent. I can't wait to cut loose and go berserk. Let's teach that fox-headed wench a lesson. Well, looks like we finally reached the top of the castle. Now, where's that fox-headed wench hiding? The great Isun's gonna avenge Queen Himiko. Constellation? Here? I can't believe it could shine in such an evil place. Ho 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 ho. So, Amaterasu, you have crept into my castle like a sneaky little mouse, have you? By the power of Yami, ruler of the land of darkness, I, Ninetales, have been made lord of Ryoshima Coast. You needn't have come all this way just for me to kill you. I would have found you and done so just the same. Just like I did to Queen Himiko. Yami, land of darkness. Never heard of either of them. And I don't remember ever giving you my okay to rule Ryoshima Coast. Yami is the absolute ruler of all evil beings. He is the ultimate symbol of darkness. And he is nothing like those false gods of your fairy tales. False gods? You're the one going around pretending to be a priestess and building fishy hideouts like this. We're gonna expose you for what you are once and for all. Ho 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 ho. We shall see, O furry one. Prepare to face the wrath of my terrible power. A power far beyond your so-called gods. So begins the battle with Ninetales, and I have to say, this is my absolute favorite boss fight in this game. As you can see, Ninetales is summoned via completing a constellation, just like the celestial brush gods that we have met over the course of our journey. And indeed, in this battle that is taking place right now, it is in the exact same type of arena in which we meet the celestial brush gods. As you noticed right there, something special about Ninetales is that it actually wields its own brush. So you want to be very, very quick with your brushwork, otherwise you are going to have trouble. Anyway, right here, I feel like this boss fight is basically Jalhalla done right, because as you can see, once you manage to strike Ninetales' 9-strike sword with some electrical power, he will indeed split into many different copies of Rao, which I think is really, really, really cool. And of course, the fact that he wields a brush means that he has all of the powers that you indeed have. But indeed, if we can bait him into doing one, unfortunately he keeps on doing wind right there. There is one insignia that he is capable of doing in this fight that you will want to keep in mind for later, because it is the only time the game tells you that such an insignia will do anything. Anyway, strike that right there, and as you can see, only 8 copies of Rao will fly out on the ground where you can attack them. All of the others will actually stay right up there, so there is a single one up in the sky that you are not allowed to face off against, which is pretty interesting. Anyway, we're going to try and take out a couple of these guys right here. And I definitely recommend using an Infinity Stone for this, just because there are a lot of enemies for you to take out right here in this portion of this boss fight. Anyway, once we have done a few more of those, he will come back and reform, and once you have defeated some of the copies of Rao, you will notice that he has fewer tails, which means those tails are indeed separate spirits. So indeed, Ninetales is not one beast, in fact he is 9. And of course, as you can see right here, he's got a lot of really crazy attacks with his tails and things like that. Anyway, I'd really like to bait him into doing a certain attack, but he keeps on using wind. I really want him to use that one move because, again, it is the only time in the entire game that you are told that said insignia is going to do something, so I'd like to try and get him to do it. Anyway, right here, can we get him to do that one move? Yes, right here. That symbol will summon in a gigantic storm of ice, which is an element that we have not yet encountered. I'm not going to exactly spoil what that indicates, but keep that symbol in mind because it is pretty significant for some later things we are going to be doing. Anyway, we're going to take out a few more of these copies, and are there any more? There's indeed one more over here. Once you take out all of these guys, the Arena of the Gods will disappear, and Ninetales' true form will be revealed as a simple one-tailed fox. One thing that's very interesting, you'll notice it is missing an eye. You will recall, whenever we met Rao, she always had one of her eyes covered by her hair, which is pretty interesting. And in fact, when we saw the vision of real Rao inside the Dragon Orb, that Rao had both eyes, so that is a very interesting tell later on that this guy is actually quite evil even when you meet Rao for the first time. Anyway, as you can see, once he is down into this form, he becomes incredibly fast and very powerful. So what you want to do is you want to keep out of this guy's way as much as you can. And I believe Veil of Mist will also help you out in this situation if you want to be careful with this guy's speed attack, because it is so fast. Alright, I'm going to use Veil of Mist a little bit more right here. And here he comes. Alrighty. So we want to hit him a few more times, and I believe he is also vulnerable to this fire right here if you draw it to him, although it doesn't do very much damage. And indeed, like all of the other brush gods we have met so far, that constellation remains in the sky during this fight. It can be spotted right over there, very briefly. Very cool. And also, it would appear that Ninetales is not capable of using his brush in this state, otherwise he would have used it by now. Also, there is that moon over there. That blood-red moon indeed has the form of Ninetales carved into it, because as you can see, if you get a good close look at it, and wow, the fire actually doesn't do anything. If we can get a look at that moon, where is it? It is right over there. It does indeed have 9 tails, which is a really, really cool detail. There's just a lot of really awesome details about this fight. But with that, Ninetales has indeed been defeated, and from its corpse rises the blade of Kusanagi, the jade-edged glaive obtained upon the defeat of Ninetales. Himiko's death had been avenged. Amaterasu's tenacity had proven too much for Ninetales. The fearsome beast lay defeated, its true nature laid bare for all to see. In death, it was reduced to no more than a tired, old fox. Oni Island, pining for its master, raised a din and began to crumble. Like a funerary offering, it scattered into flowers. Otohime, who had transformed into the water dragon, returned to the dragon palace, her role fulfilled. Ninetales' monstrous countenance, removed from its master, moved skyward, transforming into a wisp of pure and utter blackness. There, it joined the spirit of its defeated master. Even Blight showed up, lending a hand to the fallen Ninetails. Pulsing and undulating, they intertwined in midair. Then, the black mass moved towards the land to the extreme north. 4 such blackened spirits had emerged from Orochi's corpse. Perhaps these 2 were off to join their remaining brethren. Left behind were Ninetails' words about the Dark Lord, Yami. Could it be that this formidable creature resided to the north? Amaterasu, sensing a dark presence, trembled. The diminutive Isun, who had accompanied Amaterasu bravely, felt a tinge of hesitation in his heart, for he had predicted that the journey would end when all 13 powers were restored. With only 1 power remaining, a tiny frown creased his face. At any rate, their next target was waiting in the frozen north. Their adventure was far from over. No time to rest on your laurels, Ami. Defeating Ninetails didn't bring Himiko back. But at least you can send her spirit off with a heroic howl.
Oh!